Right, so we're now joined with Roger James from Rolls-Royce. Firstly, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role within the company?
Yeah, I work for Rolls-Royce PLC. I work for the Bristol factory, and I act as the community relations manager for that area, Southwest. But I've also been asked to manage the historic year that we have, given that it's 100 years since the death of Charles Rolls.
Yep.
And so there's about four towns that we've been working with in order to commemorate his death. And the Isle of Sheppey, and specifically Muswell Manor, is one of them.
Can you tell us more about your involvement today?
Well, yeah, one of the key things that Rolls did as an early pioneer was to buy his own aeroplane, which was very rare because, of course, they were very expensive things in those days. And he bought an aeroplane from the Wright brothers being the first people to invent a heavy-air aeroplane.
Yeah.
Wright brothers are on a sales drive in Europe trying to get companies to get set up to manufacture their aeroplanes under license. And one of the very good manufacturers that we had in this country then were the Short brothers, who Rolls knew because they made balloons for him out of Battersea in London. And so he introduced the Wright brothers to the Short brothers with a view to getting the Short brothers to make the aeroplanes under license. But because they couldn't make aeroplanes in Battersea, because there's obviously nowhere to fly them away from the factory, they were looking for somewhere near London that would be suitable for flying aeroplanes. And they came across the Isle of Sheppey, which is, quite flat and treeless. There's a fair amount of wind, which is ideal for early aeroplanes. And therefore they set upon setting their first factory up. That's the first aeroplane factory in the UK, here at Muswell Manor on the Isle of Sheppey at Sheerness.
Now, you've just come away from an awards ceremony. Could you tell us more about that and how you've been working with a local school, I understand?
Sure, yes. We're working with East Church Primary School. We wanted to sort of bring the memory of Rolls alive in the area. And the local primary school agreed to have a sort of Rolls competition for each of the children. And they made various artefacts, some of them out of Rolls-Royce components, scrap components. And those were judged by the school. And we gave a winner to each of the children in each of the 7 years of the school, and gave them a little book on aviation specially written for this year as a present as well.
Now, probably a lot of people don't realise this. I certainly didn't realise it till I watched a documentary recently about your Trent factory. You're still very much a British company. Yes,
Rolls-Royce PLC we make power systems. Members of the public would know us best probably for manufacturing gas turbine engines, jet engines if you will, mainly for aeroplanes. And the biggest engine that we make is the Trent, made by our factory in Derby. Big civil engine. Yep. That goes on the big current airliners. Very, very efficient engine, and we're glad to see it in so many of the current aircraft that are flying around today. We're British owned, and we'll stay that way because we also make military engines, and the government is keen to ensure that it remains a British company for strategic reasons. We have many factories abroad because we're a global company these days, but nevertheless we're on the London Stock Exchange. In fact, we're only one of 3 engineering companies still on the FTSE 100.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Okay, pleasure.
Right, so we're now joined with Danny Fincham. We're standing by your helicopter. Firstly, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a local businessman, born and bred in Kent. I've been flying now for 15 years in total, and flying this particular machine for the last 7 years.
Could you tell us more about the helicopter we're standing on?
Yeah, sure. It's a Gazelle helicopter, used extensively by the Ministry of Defence. This particular model was an ex-RAF machine that was used for training purposes primarily. This machine was built in 1976.
Okay.
I believe it's the fastest single-engined helicopter in the world still, I believe, but that may have been superseded recently.
How fast does it go?
It goes, maximum speed is 168 knots, which is around about just shy of 180 miles an hour.
And where have you flown it from today?
I've only come in from Westmoreland today.
Right. Okay.
So I've actually come from home here today, but the machine goes all over the country. As part of my work, I fly it from here to Scotland, to Wales, to Cornwall, everywhere.
Is it all kind of air displays like this that you display?
No, I use it primarily to move around because of my job.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it's still a working helicopter,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, and it flies in all weather conditions and whatever. It's just that I was asked to come down here and do a static display for them, so to support a local show, I've done it.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking to us. Right, we're now joined with Romy Ford. Now, you've been on the plane wing walking. What's it like to do that?
It's pretty wicked, actually, and I could recommend it to anyone that wants to have a go.
How did you get into doing it?
Well, the pilot that flew the plane today is one of my instructors. I'm learning to convert to different aircraft. I'm a pilot myself, and he offered me the chance to do it.
What aircraft do you fly?
I fly ordinary touring aircraft, I fly Tiger Moths, I've flown a Mustang, I've flown Stearman like I've just been on. Many, many types.
What sort of training do you need to do wing walking?
Just be fit. That's it.
And have quite a bit of a nerve, I suppose.
Quite a lot of bottle, yes.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Okay, we're now joined with Jane from Headcorn Parachute Club. Now, we've just seen you jump and pack your parachutes, but firstly, could you tell us a little bit about the club?
Yeah, Headcorn Parachute Club's been operating for 31 years now, and we do all types of parachuting there. We introduce beginners into the sport, either through a tandem skydive or they do a training course and jump by themselves.
What goes into organising a jump like you did today?
Display today is made up of our club members who are highly experienced. You need a minimum of 200 jumps in order to carry out a display like that, and you have to prove that you can do certain things like land accurately on a target. 200 jumps might seem a lot of jumps to the amateur, but actually most of our members have got a lot more jumps than that. Personally, I've got 7,500.
How long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it 31 years.
Oh, fair time then.
Fair time, yeah.
How often do you do displays like this?
Well, when there's demand, we probably do half a dozen to a dozen a year.
And now you've jumped, do you have to get home by road?
Sometimes we do. Today we are fortunate because we're going to be able to land our aircraft here later, which is going to pick us up and fly us back to the club.
So not so bad? Not
so bad today.
If our listeners are interested in parachute jumping or perhaps even becoming one, how can they find out more information?
Best thing to do is go to our website, headcornparachuteclub.co.uk. You'll find all the information you need on there. It's very comprehensive about all the types of courses we do. It gives you all the prices as well. And if you're still unsure at that point, there's a telephone number on there and you can give us a call.